Hello, beautiful souls. So, if I look like crap warmed over, since I stopped doing videos back in June and helped, as I said before, the people who tried to off me, fracture my soul, put in pieces of themselves, PIMP out my energy, and do a real, like, full-on body switch of energy, and so that they could take over my destiny, not just the destiny but the body, so that I would off myself. And they are basically just a PIMP and have something else living inside of them that they've given themselves over to, which many people do nowadays and say they're gods. They don't say it's demons. They don't say any of the real truth about the story and the things that I've been talking about. But if you know what is the truth, it's all over Hollywood. So I'm going to share a little bit, but I feel like when I start sharing this majorly publicly, if I'm able to heal from what is happening to me, because I've barely slept more than 4 or 5 hours at a time since June, culminative in a day. And I have to keep on doing a lot of things. I have to keep doing a lot of things in order to heal myself and put myself first. And part of that was Spirit driving me to figure out what this whole thing was. But then I'm a danger to this group of people and to the reality of what they do, which is rampant in Hollywood. It's rampant everywhere. It's in all of the music, like different people like Talking Heads and a lot of metal bands. A lot of people openly talk about this, but they're only allowed to do it through art and music. And people who openly talk about it were called crazy, before COVID. So, and that's what I call that, just because I don't want computers like doing stuff with what I put out. So I am going to up and switch to another platform, but first I need to organize and put together cohesively explanations of exactly what I've gone through and exactly how they do this, without giving people that are already messed up in the head or already involved with negative and 4D entities the ability to learn from what I've gone through and what the divine feminine has suffered from with this. Men starting religions with them, the whole thing with the Sophie book, I'm not going to call it by its real name, that I talked about earlier, which basically makes you make contracts with all these gods, and they're working with Mount Shasta and the energy of a guru that's working there, that's basically starting the Baha'i faith, which is going to take away all the wisdom and knowledge from us, which is what every wisdom school does. Yeah, mystery school does, and religion does. They set up a new edifice, and they're the ones pulling all the energy from it, and they take away the wisdom and knowledge of us that were the toroidal field, that were everything, that our energy is everything. And exactly what the people do to me, so many people are doing right now over the earth, that this is why with resets, the gods, people call the gods, it's just energy, it's just geometry, it's just entropy, it's nature. Nature has to come in and reset everything. Because literally the whole system of Rome, which is the Caesars, which was Romanism, which is worship of the Roman gods and Greek deities, and worship of the planets, mostly planetary divinations and star stuff, are using all this stuff to destroy the innocence. And instead of saying, oh, you're ignorant, and teaching you, because teaching should be the real jihad or the real truth, right? They're offing people. and taking their life force, and they're using all these different religions. All of them are being used to do it. I'm not saying it's what religions and mystery schools were actually originally about. I'm saying that over time, with entropy, the only thing left are dark and black mages or energy, because the original elite, which now have spread to be so many that they're all fighting their wars and offing each other. And this is what happens in the end of an age. When so many people get the free information about, hey, you know, bow to your soul, you're the toroidal field, but they use black magic and siphoning and putting things on you to extract your energy and PIMP it out, which they did to me and boasted about it and said they were a divine masculine. And they weren't. They were taking my energy and giving it to their chicks with DICKs, and I have nothing against actual preferences. Nothing. It has zero to do with religion and zero to do with anything holy or what I'm talking about. Two spirits have always been here, or whatever you choose to see yourself as and call that. And they're actually, the divinity of that is needed right now. It's just natural evolution of getting out of these religions and false constructs that say that if you are who you want to be authentically, they're going to destroy you. So the Baha'i faith that's being set up by like Donald Trump and his daughter and some other gurus that talk about this faith, and I don't mean the original one, the original faith of that. It's something new. That basically they're going to make a new elite and set up the whole order of siphoning, wiping our minds, which is what they do with these resets and massive wars and the earth cleansing and all that, and they know it, so they're going to take all their info and they're going to use your energy to stay alive, and they're going to go hide in their bunkers, and they're going to be the next elite of the next age. And what they do, which is what Egyptians do, which is what all the gods do, that come into human form, the stars that fell, the energy that falls, which we're all part of, when that experiences entropy and it's time for a new age and a new system like Aquarius to take over, all those old gods or netters or energies of the fallen systems have to be wiped and a new system is put in place. And so basically what has been being done to all of us that have been part of these religions, not knowing it and holding our faith dear to the very end, have been used and hoarded out for our energy. You know, the bride of Christ was turned in the bride of Romanism. As I've said many times before, the scripture, if you know it, completely describes that Christ and his bride, that whole thing already happened, and he made his new Jerusalem in the 5th dimension, or whatever dimension you want to say that that is, the 12th or whatever, and all of his abilities went back to Creator. And then that sun stays for the whole age of Pisces, and that sun rules, and then there's entropy, and then another ruler comes in with a new age, and we have this whole times of darkness and solar flares and new astrology, or the whole planet in existence is wrapped up and done with. It burns, as suns do. It's a natural entropy. It's natural and normal. 9/11, right? So think about 911, 19911, which is a date. Look into that date. Find out what that date means in history. There's so many people that are talking about, we're in Christ's little season. We're in Christ, or an in Christed season on repeat over and over. We've got the next age, all humanity is supposed to gain their crown. And if we allow another religion or faith to take over, what's going to happen is the same thing that happened. Those elite are going to rule in this dimension past, the one that's passing, eternal, and the ones who stay in that dimension and belief system and train of thought are going to be lost to yet another whole season or star season or age of that. But those of you who are awake and know the truth, know that bowing to your own soul and not lying to other people or being forced to lie to be who you are is the truth. It's how you attain your crown after you bow to your soul, and that ignites and you're able to be in Christed and have this union. Then the crown is yours, which means basically nobody can F with you in the astral. And the elite don't want that. They want to be the only one with these abilities, with this black magic, with the chaos magic, which chaos magic, it's ancient. It's a dark thing that has nothing to do with just dark or light magic. It is a complete, and I don't mean black as in the color of a human. I mean black as in were one ancient eternal black mage, 1111, and Egypt talked about this and literally tried to wipe it out of their history because he was like a chaos demon or a chaos thing, or like the squid, or things that so many people have put their energy into now that exist. And this dark entropy takes over and rules for the next age, but in its own dimension. And we that are in Christed are supposed to be the ones who stand up, speak out, and fight against this, especially for the divine feminine, because the divine feminine is in every single one of us, womb or no womb. And it's being used to literally kill the ones, as I've said before, off the ones, because you're not allowed to say that word on YouTube, off the ones who can create new life in this earth from a physical womb. And there are many ways to do that are more holy than the ways we know to do now without losing energy. And I knew about these things, and that's why one of the reasons why they came after me. They wanted their nuggets. They're looking for their info. They want to take over my crown. Just got told today by the ex that basically, there's some people that love their entities, that love their divine masculine, that love what you put into me. Well, I don't have a choice but to love it, because they put this dark energy and stuff on my soul. So if I hadn't bowed to my soul, I would have been offed, and they would have occupied my body, because they don't want to be a male, they want to be a female, and they want to identify as that. So they want to use the energy as many divine feminines as they can. And divine feminines are just waking up to this all over the world now. So I want to do a little bit more study and a little bit more clarity, write down and set up things that I'm going to say. And just in case anything happens and I'm not able to say that, or I'm delayed in being able to say that, I want you to know about a woman's channel who is talking about this. She flips tarot, but she's a prophetess. She's a real empress. Her YouTube channel is Intuitive Heart W/Storytime, which means with Storytime. So Intuitive Heart W Storytime, and I will put a link in the description and in my about info. So the past month she's been explaining, because she's in school in the astral and spirit's teaching her when she sleeps, and because it's happened to her, she's been wiped. She's teaching while she throws cards about these entities and these things that different people are doing collectively to the divine feminine right now. And she's read for me. I consider her, my person, though I have 2 or 3 other readers. Sometimes I listen to, mostly I'm only interested in people that are real divine feminines and that can really channel. There's one masculine I have that I love, and he is going through a lot. to refine himself. And he identifies actually as both. So it's not about how you identify in the flesh, because the 1515, the flesh is just a vessel that holds the spirit, that holds the soul, that holds the material that is hermetically sealed, that these people unseal and then want to be master of. And they do this all over the music industry. Like I said, it's in all the music. If you start to understand it and you start to listen to it, it's just craziness. There's creatures they've created all over the world. There's homunculi. There are giants. There are jinn. There are all kinds of crazy stuff going down. And nobody knows in any of the mystery schools or the military or anything anymore who's in control of what, and everyone's enamored with aliens. They are not extraterrestrial. They are here. They are terrestrial. They've always been here. They've always had the ability to control things here. They are the Khazars, and they are the invisible, and they are the dark forces, and they are the ones that build themselves up on our life force until they can appear here and take over and play their God games all over again. And this is why we are reset. Too many people learn to eat from the life tree and stay here forever, which is an option that one can do. Or one can, as every yogi and Indias and schools like that teach, you can ascend. But these people don't have any creativity or ability on their own to ascend or anything. They need you. And so they harvest your life force because they hate themselves, they hate the talents they've been given, and they don't use them, so they should lose them. I mean, there's a whole New Testament story where Jesus, that's what I called the Christ then from that time, Jesus explains that. And Krishnas that have come and gone in different avatars explain all this. It's explained in the Hindu religions. But people have taken the experiment, as they called me the experiment, too far, and it's time for the balance to come. It's time for the earth to be balanced. And any negative entities, whether they love their negative entities or not that deal with me, they're going. And Spirit has taught me many things on how, but really since June, I've been on hold because I've been having my energy siphoned and relearning, to love these people so that they'll spill their guts to me. That's real love. Real love is getting the enemy, loving the enemy so much that you heap so many coals upon their head that they're afire and that they're going to keep you warm. So the old adage of heaping coals on the head was when people would carry a pot of coal on their head in ancient times, and you never let your hearth fire go out. And if you did, or something catastrophic happened, because fire was an elemental that was holy in all religions and important, so you never let the hearth fire burn out. And if you did, there was a person going around with a pot on their head, and they would go to their neighbors or go to the person who sold it, 1911, and they would, which is the time period I was talking about, they would get the coals in order to fuel the fire so the hearth couldn't go out. So there's a verse in the Bible that says to your enemy, heap hot coals upon their head. The point is, keep them burning, keep them coming back, because eventually they're going to keep letting the hearth fire go out, the heart fire, and they're going to be dependent upon you. And so loving your enemy from afar is very useful, but you don't love them until they destroy you. Christ came and did all those things, that avatar, that person for that time. And they say the new person, the Kalki king, is coming, and I'm not saying I know anything about that. I just know what Jesus and Jesus and what and what Yeshua, the Aramaic name of Joseph, would have taught his people for that time, for them to leave the earth with him, okay, and establish their kingdom in the fifth dimension, which all of us have access to if we bow to our soul. It's that simple. That's why he came here and died. It has nothing to do with everything everyone made the religion into. Also, something really strange, Yeshua, who is Aramaic, said that he came from the line of Judah for the Israelites, but they would reject him because that was the story. So Yeshua said, upon this rock, when he was at Petra, upon this rock I'll build my church. The giants built Petra. They were Edomites, and Esau mixed with the Edomites because his brother Jacob took his inheritance. And so this is why these energies, star energies and star peoples, and the Jews will say they're not of this world, they're star people. Stars upon Mars, and they went through the whole mockery of that, and have been wiped out over and over again. And to me, there was only Edomites left after that time. Jews and Gentiles alike, no matter who they were, Edomites, Judites, whatever they were, Gentiles, they were taken with the Christos at that time if they bowed to the soul and they didn't betray themselves and say, oh, I'm scared of the fact that Rome is using us as temple torches and is throwing us to the lions and martyring us all off. So they earned their escape. They left, they went. Now, we got here left behind since 79 AD, and yes, there is documentation of the fact that chariots and a whole war came in the clouds, and they fought, and then Israel all ran to the mountains from Petra, where they were a stronghold, and they were taken, which is why all the Apocrypha books and all these old books were found in the Dead Sea area, the Dead Sea Scrolls, because they were hiding there. And they were keeping their religion alive, and that religion was kept alive, or those truths, because there's no such thing as re-allegion. Give your allegiance to something else other than your own soul. And they taught people how to bow to their soul and live forever through these scripts, and when Rome got a hold of them, they got rid of them. Revelations was never in the Bible from the beginning. It's an apocryphal book totally about astrology, about things that not only already happen, but because astrology is cyclical, it keeps happening. Okay? And I've heard every argument from every demonic entity and every dragon and every brain that's been taken over, and I don't care, because I know my truth, and I'm not about preaching your truth, because you want power. And I just want truth. So the Edomites and the people who were Gentiles and Jews that were left behind, Rome took all their info, and when the different sects of Gnostics and Essenes and sects that knew that we were in cycles of these repeating patterns and knew how to teach a human to bow to the soul, or they would take that, which literally my group tried to do, they kept the mysteries and kept it a mystery, because when you hand it out to everybody, look what's going on in the world. The craziness in Hollywood, people doing it to each other. Narcissists everywhere that have no clue why they're bipolar and narcissistic, and you talk to many Masons' children and they are that. Mystery schools have entropy. They have lived so long off of everybody's energy as jinn, as jains, as pathologies, via actual acts, not actuality, the act that brings down the, if not done the correct way, brings down the auric field. Why? Because they're putting entities and things into you on purpose. Adam and Eve ate from this tree, the energy fell. And that has many stories and analogies that can be put to it. It's not linear. But at the same time, it's telling you the story of how they were used by the snake, by the Jane, the half snake, half man thing that I call the Naga, that I'm not against. Entropy. They became evil. They were originally the teachers. They were originally from another age, the dragons, and taught. But entropy happens all the time. And so these old gods die off, and then us little people come up and think we're wonderful because we can be the host for them, and they can feed off of all of us until they're taking over governments. They're offing everyone as food because they're getting ready for their big end of time age battle and reset. So 26 minutes. I'll stop it there. I've had to reach out to so many different people, and so many people have turned out to be my enemies because they want to get on here and talk cool about all the deep SHIT they know. But I'll tell you this much. There's a cloud of witnesses called plasma between us and the moon. It's why so many people get out there and feel like they're called to worship the moon and its cyclic movement, because the ancestors move with it. They're the cloud of witnesses. And so is the rest of the plasma neural network in the universe. The stars hijack stuff. The planets hijack stuff. How? Via us, and us worshiping them instead of bowing to our own soul. You know, it's the stars that shine for you. It's the stars that lie to you. I will try to also find that song and post it so I'm not hijacking somebody else's work. Hollywood says everything about what's going on. You know, all my friends are heathens. Take it slow. You know, you don't know the half of the abuse. No, you don't, until all this destiny body swapping and body snatching and evolving into different types of animals and beings and being able to shapeshift into things, until that gets to a place where the government has to step in and stop offing these people. And then you don't know who's the good guys and who's the bad guys, and everything's just chaos, like I've talked about before. And I was going to give up this channel, but I'm not. I'm going to expand upon it. And I'm going to continue to give information here when I can, how I can, the way I've been called to do. The divine feminine is not being protected, and the divine goddess is not being protected by the Templars, and the Templars who've left will tell you that. The Templars that are out there telling you all the truth now and spilling their guts about the Holy Family, that is not the Holy Family. They were just another group of people with the same names that they found their graves. They were the rich banking families that got left over when Romanism took over every religion and made Christianity the religion and stopped using them as tortures because they offed them all. They offed them all. They used them for sport in the arenas, and anyone else they wanted to off, they didn't care. Entropy. They became worthless when they offed the Messiah that was promised them. Nero, these different people in the different times, Pilate, he sided with the Edomites. Herod was an Edomite. And this is not about sides, about what's going on in Jerusalem now. No, it is a foreshadow of things that already happened in the past and will happen until this earth is wrapped up and thrown in the furnace. And that's in, I think, maybe Elijah talks about it, Daniel, the prophet. But the divine feminine, the womb, was always how this energy of prophecy was taken and used. Not saying men don't have that and can't cultivate it. That's a lie. But the womb of the woman is a holy, precious thing. And until there are real Templars that protect that, we're just going to keep on being prostituted out to these low-level cults and gangs, street gangs, that literally exist in my neighborhood that promise if I don't be their holy HOAR bore, they're going to off me. and all their other women who just run back to him no matter how many years, 11 years, 12 years. Oh, I can't live without you. I need you. I love you. You don't love your soul then. If you've never proven to yourself that you're worth anything. Being a holy bore, and I'll use the B in replacement of the H because of the internet and people's weird hang-ups on shite, it was never about that. Women have been used for thousands of years to, oh, Sheila, prophesy for me, be part of my group. They all said this, all these people coming at me for years. I didn't even know what the heck was going on with me when my Kundalini was awakening and who I was. But I had offers, oh, come channel for us. You know, because that's what they need. They need the energy of the divine feminine so they can wear it like a hoe and then go out and give it to everybody around me whose names I've written down and all this stuff I've written down and kept a record of, because one day they're going to be called up for that and they're not going to be able to protect themselves because they're not divine masculines, they're pimps. A divine masculine will really get on there, and I believe Bedell is one channel. I'll post it if I find it. Have to remember all the things I said I'd post. They are honoring the real feminine in order to use the energy wisely in order to build up her aura so both their auras don't fall. Why do you think the snake, the Naga, went after Eve with a half-truth and a half-lie and not Adam? Because he didn't need Adam's energy. They needed Eve's energy. They needed the energy of the womb. And so they harvested it to make their own demons and their Lilith and their whole fourth dimensional invisible BS. And that's what that story is about. It's not about Eve submitting to Adam and God is so mean because he offs all his wives, and everything has a male and female polarity. So does God. You can't separate him from it. But the Templars are out there. But we honor the woman and we honor the feminine divine. No, you freaking don't. All the Masons that I have known, and I'm not saying you're all like this, and all the Templars and all the people in my family have pimped out the divine feminine. And in the next age, like Sadhguru says, it's going to be all about the feminine, not about the masculine. He loved his wife, though I think he also screwed up her energy, and that happens, and I'm not blaming him, and I can't tell you if he did that by design or not. I know what was using him should have told him, and he did tell his wife not to take off her jewelry, and she did. So I don't think that he did it on purpose, you know? She followed a calling. Who knows what she's doing up there for us? Or if she's here or comes back and forth. I don't know. You know, I don't judge anyone according to the flesh until they come in and F with mine. And then you bet your ASS that they're going to suffer for it. I said 10 minutes ago now, right? That I was going to stop the video. So, yeah, I'm heated. Yeah, I learned a ton of new things. Yes, I am being imped out. You know, this is why these women are getting together now in Hollywood and redoing videos where they're left behind and the men go to Mars. And first the men go and then the women, if they behave, get to come along. Or they make the next age, or blah, blah, whatever their story is. They do not honor the divine feminine. Like Rihanna said, they PIMP you out. Who wouldn't become dark from that? I almost lost myself because of that. And if you lose yourself, it's so that something else can step in. And so I don't make agreements with any gods or goddesses. And I have to end this because there's a carpenter here. I do not. My ancestors are every god and goddess, and the ancestors belong to us all, you know? So be blessed. Thank you, beautiful souls.